So last time on Unsealed, we took a look at and opened up a brand new copy of The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. This game is from 2002. This is the PlayStation version here that I opened up. You can also get copies for the original Xbox or the GameCube. The PlayStation 2 version, however, is the one that I played way back in 2002. I talked in that first video about my lack of experience with the franchise. I thought the movies were way too long to sit through. It was a struggle to sit through the first two, and I never watched the third. I never read the books either. So this was really my entrance to the franchise and something that I found not only interesting, but also just a lot of fun to play. It is a melee combat game where you gain experience and you can increase your character levels and your character skills by spending that experience. And the better you are at combat, the cleaner you are without getting hit, the more experience points that you can attain. Also in this game that I thought was fascinating is some of the extras, some of the behind-the-scenes things that DVD media allowed us to do. Allowed developers and publishers to have interviews with voice actors, or in this case, the actual actors from the film. Having interviews with them I thought was really, really cool. It adds a sense of immersion to the whole experience, I thought, in terms of keeping that movie feel alive. This game was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, Stormfront Studios, the developers of this particular game, were not involved going forward with the Lord of the Rings series from EA. Instead, Stormfront, if you watched the last episode, went on to develop Demonstone, which takes place in the Forgotten Realms part of the D&D universe. This is the same kind of game as Lord of the Rings Two Towers. There are some slight differences, but really it feels, especially if you've played the Two Towers, this will feel comfortably familiar, but at the same time different because of the different universe, because of the different voice actors. This one is also very interesting to play, and again, if you have access to a PS2, I do recommend checking this out. It's not that expensive, although the new copies that I opened up on camera certainly were a bit more expensive to attain. After the Two Towers, you knew there was going to be a movie based on Return of the King. The problem was that Stormfront wasn't involved anymore, and so this game, I think, of the three Lord of the Rings games from EA, we have Two Towers, which covered Fellowship of the Ring and the Two Towers, and then this next game, that covered the trilogy. There was one more game which we'll cover in our next episode, which is completely different, but is also pretty well regarded. So the Two Towers was well regarded. The third game in the trilogy was really well regarded, and then you have this game here that was just kind of there. It felt familiar, but at the same time, it didn't quite have the same level of appeal, and it really didn't strike either players or critics as positively as the Two Towers did. So this is Lord of the Rings Return of the King right here, and this says, as its tagline, "Live the movie, be the hero." I'm going to take a look and see what it says in the back of the case here. Live the epic adventure. Play as 9 characters, including Gandalf, Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli, Sam, and Frodo, and you battle through 15 highly interactive levels. Form your fellowship. You can team up with a friend online. So that's the new feature here, is being able to play online for the first time. You couldn't with the Two Towers. You can fight side by side in multiplayer co-op mode. Again, that's something that players wanted to do from the first game, and now they can do here. Defeat the forces of evil, so you can confront Shelob, the King of the Dead, the Witch King, Sauron's Lieutenant, and more. There are also movie exclusives in here, the only game with scenes and music directly from the film. So again, this is directly franchised. This is directly associated with the film. So again, you get the actors involved. You get a lot of the props and sets and scenes from the movies involved. So it feels authentic, as it should. Just like the Two Towers, you can tell that this is an original copy because you can see the Lord of the Rings seal. This is just underneath the PlayStation 2 logo on the cover. So we're going to go ahead and open this up. Again, just like last time, this is brand new, Lord of the Rings Return of the King from Electronic Arts. This movie is from 2000. This game is from 2003. So this game came out just a year later. So let's go ahead and open this up, and then we'll talk a little bit about it. I don't have a lot of memory of this particular game. I did play it, but I didn't play it very much. I was kind of going through the motions when I bought this. I bought it because that's what you do. If you enjoy the first game, you give the sequel a shot. And I did that, and I was underwhelmed, and it really didn't hold my attention for long. But let's go ahead and open this up. There we go. This is actually pretty easy. So we will take the seal off. There we go. Oh, yeah, that's cool. Put that in the trash. We'll take the ID sticker off, and then we will see what's on the inside. I know I didn't get any reaction from the first video yet about admitting that I haven't played or I haven't watched or enjoyed the Lord of the Rings movies, so I guess I've kind of lucked out for now. I do love how that Lord of the Rings seal just kind of shines up there. It's so cool. All right, let's go ahead and open this guy up. So nothing really all that exciting here. We have the instruction manual and the disc. The disc looks just like the front cover, except we don't have Aragorn on the front. We just have Mount Doom, I believe. So we'll go ahead and take the instruction manual out. And let's take a look first and see what's on the back here. This is actually an ad for Medal of Honor Rising Sun. A game that I really had high hopes for and unfortunately fell a little bit short. But we'll talk about Medal of Honor another time, hint, hint. As we open up the instruction manual, this is in black and white, so there's not a lot to see. However, there is quite a bit of information in here for an instruction manual. We get 22 pages of information here, a lot of it having to do with online play. And if you remember back in 2003 when online was still fairly new, people were still getting accustomed to how online worked, especially with the PS2 where you needed the online adapter to get that thing going, especially with the older system. The newer system, I believe, had it already installed and ready to go, if I remember right. I never went online with my PS2, ever. The first console that I went online with was the Dreamcast, and that was only for a short amount of time because it was dial-up and pretty much useless. And then the next system that I went online with was the Xbox 360 and the PS3. So it took another generation for me to really jump online. But that's a lot of what's here. But they do also talk about playing the game. Upgrades are here again, so you can do skill upgrades based on the experience points that you attain. They kept a lot of Stormfront's general gist that they used for the Two Towers. But again, like I talked about, it felt like more of the same. It didn't feel like it was moving the gameplay forward any. And for whatever reason, at least to me, it didn't feel as inspired as the first game did. The Two Towers felt inspired. It pulled you in almost from the get-go. And with this game, I never really felt it. Let's see if they talk about anything here. So it talks about single-player co-op. You can view the game's credits. Experience points are another big deal, as they were in the first game. You can take a look at skill upgrades, and that's pretty much about it. That's only it's only about like 8 pages worth, and then it really gets into information about multiplayer in the instruction manual. It's too bad that this game didn't have the same allure or appeal that the Two Towers did, because the Two Towers, for a game, for a series that I really didn't have a lot of interest in, really pulled me in hard, to where at least I had some kind of interest in the franchise in general, even if I thought the movies were a bit too long. But this game, while I did buy it, and I do remember that I bought it brand new, I bought it from a GameStop just because it felt like the thing to do. I know it's kind of a waste of money, but that's what I did. And I did play it for a short time, and I really do think that when I get some free time, and I keep saying that in all these videos that I make, that I open these games, but really I should give this game another chance and see what I think of it, especially after playing through the Two Towers again. So, we've done the Fellowship of the Ring, we've done the Two Towers, and now we've done the Return of the King. We have done all 3 movies. So what's this about a third Lord of the Rings game from EA Games? We'll talk all about that in our next episode, which will be episode 77. Thanks, as always, for checking out my work. I really do appreciate it. If you have any comments on the Lord of the Rings games, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. Those of you who are fans know what game is coming next, and those of you that don't, I'm going to leave you in suspense for just another day or so. Thanks, as always, for watching, and until the next time, my friends, take care of yourselves and each other. See you later.